If you go to Canada and somebody tells you that they're taking a bird course, does that mean that they are learning how to fly? Or if somebody tells you that they drank a Mickey, is that some kind of weird Disney fetish? Or maybe they tell you that they want a pop. Does that mean that they miss their father? For the most part, Canadian English is not so different from American English, but we do have a few unique slang words and expressions. And in this video, we're going to look at 20 of them. Number one is a bird course. So in Canada, if somebody says that they are taking a bird course, no, they're not learning how to fly. Rather, they are taking a very, very easy university course. Usually anything we call a bird course is easy, it's low effort, and you can get a very high grade. And you do this, of course, because it reduces your workload during the year. And also, if you can get a high grade very easily, then it pulls up your average. Now, why is it called a bird course? I'm not really sure. Maybe it has something to do with the expression with flying colors. If you take a bird course, if you take an easy course, then you will pass your tests and your exams with flying colors. So maybe somehow somebody connected the flying colors with birds and a bird course, and maybe that's how it became a bird course. Number two is a click. Now we all know that a click is a sound, right? A clicking sound, like that would be some kind of clicking sound. But in Canada, somebody might tell you that something is 20 clicks away. You wouldn't just make 20 clicking sounds. No, 20 clicks away means 20 kilometers away. And so kilometer, click, right? It kind of makes some sense. Number three is Mickey. What is a Mickey in Canada? No, it doesn't have anything to do with Disney characters. Instead, a Mickey is a small 13-ounce bottle of alcohol, or strong alcohol like whiskey or vodka or rum. And of course, you can buy these bottles pretty much anywhere, right? I think I've seen them in other countries. But in Canada, we call them Mickeys. And since we're on the topic of alcohol, number four is 26er. Now, if Mickey is a 13-ounce bottle, it doesn't take a genius to guess that a 26er might be a 26-ounce bottle. And if I'm not mistaken, a 26-ounce bottle in metric would be 750 milliliters. So that's a pretty standard sized bottle of alcohol, the smaller one. And that brings us to number five, which is a 40-pounder. That's the larger bottle of alcohol. So a 40-pounder is a 40-ounce bottle. And I don't recall exactly, but I think that's 1.4 liters in metric, right? Anyway, it's the bigger bottle of alcohol. Number six is pop. Now, in the United States, they actually use this word in some areas, but it's pretty typically used mostly in Canada, a lot more than the States. In the States, they would use the word soda. So when you're talking about carbonated soft drinks like Coke or Sprite, ginger ale, 7-Up, all those types of drinks, in Canada, we would call them pop. In fact, one time while I was traveling in the United States, I forget where I was. I think it might have been New Jersey or Pennsylvania. I'm not sure now. I don't recall exactly. It was on the way home from Atlantic City. And we stopped at a gas station, and I went in with a $20 bill, and I asked the attendant if I could get some change for the pop machine. And immediately he said, "Oh, you're from Canada, aren't you?" And I thought, he can see the license plate on our car. Our car's over there. So he said, no, I can't see your car, but you said pop. And that's that's usually a word that Canadians say. Number 7 is hydro. If you're in Canada and somebody tells you that their hydro is very expensive, then they are saying that their electricity bill is very expensive. In Canada, the company that provides electricity to everyone, or at least in Ontario, I guess I can't speak for other provinces, but I believe it extends across Canada. Anyway, the electric company is called Hydro. I think it was Hydro Ontario way back when, and now I think it's called Hydro One. But anyway, hydro means electricity, and that is because some of the power is generated by water, Niagara Falls. So that's hydro. Number 8 is the word keener. In Canada, if someone is called a keener, it means that that person is considered to be overly enthusiastic, or very, very enthusiastic or motivated. In a classroom setting, it can be like an insult, a bit of a negative to be called a keener, because quite often kids will try to shame the hard workers and the smart people in class, right? Another word that is kind of similar, at least in a school setting, would be a brown noser. I don't think brown noser is a Canadian term, is it? But anyway, a brown noser is somebody who, they try to please the teacher a little bit too much, and so other students will usually not like that very much. Or, I don't want to say usually, but some students don't like that very much. And so that's kind of what a keener is. It's not really a compliment most of the time. Although it can be used lightly, you could say, "Oh, you're a real keener." But generally speaking, when it's used as an insult. Number 9 is homo milk. No, this is not an offensive term. Homo is short for homogenized. And homogenized is to homogenize milk is basically I don't know what the exact process is, but it's to put it through some kind of process so that the fat doesn't separate, right? So that's homogenized milk. Now, homogenized milk, I think, is 3.4, 3.5%, somewhere in there. So it is what other people might call whole milk. Number 10 is a 2-for. A 2-for, now you might have heard of a 2-for-1, which is when you buy something and you get something free. But in this case, a 2-for is not short for 2-for-1. A 2-for is a case of beer, usually beer. Many things come in cases of 24. So typically, beer might come in a 6-pack or a 12-pack or a 2-for. You can also get Coke, or you can get soft drinks that come in a case of 24. But typically, a 2-for is almost exclusively used to refer to a 24-pack of beer. Number 11 is a toque. Now, a toque is basically a winter hat, usually made of wool and knitted, right? It may or may not be long so that you can fold it back up. Often it has a little pom-pom on top, but not always. But it's that kind of hat. I'm not sure. I think in America they might call them beanies. Not 100% sure about that. But anyway, in Canada, they are called toques. Double double. If somebody asks you to get them a double double, what that means is to get them a coffee with double cream and double sugar. Number 13 is not really slang exactly. And I'm not sure, it's not really only unique to Canada as a word, but the way we use it is a bit unique. So in Canada, we don't usually use the word bathroom unless there's an actual bath in the room. So if you have a house and you have a bathroom that has a bath, a toilet, a sink, that would be a bathroom, and that's okay, though we might call that a washroom as well. But the other room in the house that only has a toilet and a sink, we would call that a washroom. And to call it a bathroom might invite some jokes your way. There's no bath. How is it a bathroom? It's not a bathroom if there's no bath. Generally speaking, Canadians often use the word washroom no matter where we are. We don't usually use the word restroom, although that's the word you will see on signs if you're at a restaurant or if you're driving along the highway and you might see like restrooms. But in verbal usage, we tend to use the word washroom a lot, pretty much always. Number 14 is tap. Basically, Canadians use the word tap instead of faucet. We can also use faucet, but we typically use the word tap a lot. Number 15 is elastics. This one's not so strange, but we don't typically use the word rubber band so much. We'll use the word elastics. So, someone with long hair might ask for an elastic to tie up his or her hair. Number 16 is the word stag. Now, this is an actual word, and formally it is the definition of a male deer. But in Canada, we might say that we are going to a stag, and in that case, it would mean bachelor party. Number 17 is knapsack, which is basically what Canadians call backpacks. Number 18 is pogi. So to be on pogi would mean that you are collecting social insurance, or welfare is another word we used to call it. So basically, if you lose your job, then you may get unemployment insurance, right? That's not pogi. Unemployment insurance is unemployment insurance, or some people call it employment insurance now. So I'm not really sure which one it formally is being called these days. But anyway, so if you don't have unemployment insurance and you have no job, then you may need money somehow, in which case you can apply for pogi. Number 19 is the loonie. If someone tells you that they need a loonie for the machine, then it means that they need a $1 coin for the machine. Now, the loonie, the reason it's called a loonie is because way back in 1987, I think it was, the Canadian government got rid, or the Canadian Mint, anyway, they're both kind of acting the same here, right? They got rid of the $1 paper bill and they replaced it with a $1 coin. On the back of this coin was a bird, and that bird is a loon. Now, the funny thing about how this came to be called the loonie is because at the time, a lot of people were against the idea. They hated the idea. They didn't want to carry around a bunch of coins in their pockets when they could be carrying around bills, paper bills. So a lot of people hated the idea and they said it was stupid, right? Now, loon is the name of the bird. Loonie, right? If you're familiar with the Warner Brothers comics, Looney Tunes. So Loonie means kind of crazy. So people were saying that this was a crazy idea, right? To change from paper to coins. And the back of the coin had a loon on it. So people started to call this the Loonie. Which brings us to number 20, when a few years later, the government replaced the $2 paper bill with a coin as well. So, although there was no bird on this coin, people started to call it a toonie. So now in Canada you have loonies and toonies. And that is my list of 20 Canadian slang terms and expressions that you might not know. Let me know in the comments section how many of these you already knew. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I will do my best to answer you as quickly as possible. Thanks for watching my video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.